Good morning, afternoon, evening, or whenever you find your way to listening to this. The Northeast Bull Rush is back. I'm Omar, as always, joined by my partner in crime, John. John, how's everything going? And what'd you make of this weekend of college football? I guess full week since now we have the MAC.
Good, man. I'm fully moved on from football season. I'm into basketball now. So football is a silly sport anyway. Who cares about football?
Yeah, you can never tell how the ball bounces. I mean, basketball more predictable. The ball's not a spheroid. Nice and round. But I understand your pain. I too was rooting for. I'm on the train for the Big Ten devouring itself completely for the sake of Cincinnati. So I was kind of angry about that result too. Nothing against Michigan, but I mean, just want Cincinnati in. But yeah, I understand the pain. I also felt some pain this weekend. Miami Black Knights scored too many points. I was very frustrated about that, but you have good weekends, you have bad weekends. Sometimes your team covers and sometimes they don't. But
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. I guess this isn't a gambling podcast because I do have my qualms about Army covering and not covering at times, but it is what it is.
Right on, right on.
All right. So again, I like this time of year because you can sort of see everything take shape in the bowl picture too. You have 2 weeks. You can sort of play the scenarios and everything too. If this team wins out or this team wins one and loses one, at least in terms of bowl eligibility, and from there, kind of make your own bowl projections. You don't really need the experts to make your bowl projections, or you don't even need us really to make your own projections. We're just here, I guess, for discussion. So I guess the first topic I want to talk about is, I guess, fallout from a game this week, Cuse versus Louisville. We've talked about Syracuse a lot. I guess floated them around as a bowl team. I think your prediction is going to come true with Syracuse not making a bowl because they have a tough final two games, and they just looked flat against Louisville, a team really of even stature, the best chance for a sixth win. So I guess what's your take on Syracuse in their next two games going forward?
Yeah, man, they got destroyed. It wasn't even close. 41-3. Garrett Schrader had 46 yards in the air. Stick a fork in them. They're done, man. Their next two games are Pitt and NC State. They're not winning any of those. So yeah, I don't think they're making a bowl.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm with you on that for the most part. I guess I'm 95% on them not making bowl, even though I do think that North Carolina State does play down to their opposition, but they might still have to play a perfect game to beat the Wolfpack. So, yeah, it's really a shame what happened, but I guess the spirit of Lamar Jackson was there. They retired his number and everything. You can't really go against the Cardinals there. So, um, and I guess from what most projections have is Louisville going to either the Military Bowl or the Fenway Bowl. So that's, I guess, another tie in there to this podcast. But yeah, no, I guess not much analysis there. It's a shame that
Yeah.
Sean Tucker was only mildly pleased with his performance with the running joke with his tweets after the game. But yeah, just a shame too. I guess with a follow-up question there before we move on, do you think Dino Babers is on the hot seat?
I don't really have a great pulse on the Cuse community. I haven't really seen much tweeting about calling for Babers' seat. I think that they're still like reasonably okay with him. I saw like a huge uproar about not giving what's his face Tucker the 44. I guess they have a tradition up there to give, like, I don't know, what, a star running back 44. So if they weren't going to give it to Tucker, then I guess maybe they're waiting for next year. I don't know. But I saw like a huge uproar about that a couple weeks back, and I haven't seen really much about Babers. You got to think, like, losing 41-3 to a not like amazing Louisville team is it's not boding well. But if he can at least put out good showings in the remainder of these games, I think he holds on. They'll give him another year.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I'm kind of curious on that. I mean, I don't want to think he's on the hot seat, but for me, like, I mean, I feel like everything points to him being on the hot seat. Only one bowl appearance since I think it's 2016. He took over, right? So like only one bowl appearance since then. The 2018 team was great for sure, Eric Dungy and company, but I mean, it's kind of far away. I mean, it was 3 years ago. But I like Babers a lot, but I feel like he's on the hot seat at least heading into next year. Might be a mid-season firing, but I guess if they don't pick it up, but yeah. So again, I too don't have much of a pulse of Syracuse Twitter, but that's just my perspective too. I mean, just the track record isn't there, and it's not like this is a job where progress is where it's just a long uphill climb. I mean, sure, Syracuse has had some down years too. They had some backwards years with Greg Robinson in like the mid 2000s and everything, but I mean, I don't think it's at that point now. I mean, Doug Marone had success there, so that's just my take on that. But we'll see next year. I guess speaking of another former Big East school, Pitt, really big showdown this week with Pitt and UVA. Everything at stake in the ACC Coastal, the de facto title game. Looking at Pitt, if they lose, where do you think Pitt would end up in the ACC bowl picture?
So I'm really excited about this game, and I don't think Pitt's going to lose. I think they're going to win. It's in the Berg. Kenny Pickett is slinging it. Jordan Addison, he's as good of a receiver as Pitt's had since maybe Larry Fitz. So I think they're going to win. But if they don't, I don't know. I've seen some things. Maybe the Cheez It Bowl. If things don't go quite their way, maybe. I don't know. I mean, the dream, if they can win it all, not it all, but if they can win the ACC is the Peach Bowl. But I don't know. I'm not sure how they're going to do against Wake in the championship. That's going to be another fun matchup. But yeah, maybe Cheez It Bowl.
Yeah, so I'd agree. Well, I mean, I do have a question. I'm not sure if you'd know, but would Brandon Armstrong be playing this weekend? Was that just a 1 week injury this week, or is he still out?
I don't know off the top of my head. I think either way, I like Pitt in that game.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, certainly if he's playing, it's going to be more difficult for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I really want a Brandon Armstrong versus Kenny Pickett quarterback duel. I think that's what America wants. But yeah, I guess in terms of bowl destination, if Pitt doesn't win, um, I'd be interested to see, I guess, the I almost called it the Belk Bowl, the Duke's Mayo Bowl. How can I forget that sponsor? The Duke's Mayo Bowl picked them up because if they end up losing to Virginia, they wouldn't have a trip to Charlotte. I think Pittsburgh is a pretty drivable trip to Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or um,
I mean, I wouldn't drive it, but
oh, okay.
you could. I mean, yeah. What is that? I don't know. I'm guessing like 9 hours.
There's worse bowl trips.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
would say
for sure. For sure. For sure.
there's worse bowl trips. Um,
Let's
so
see. Let
yeah,
me look that up.
yeah, but I'd see them there for sure. I would say in terms of prestige, maybe like the Sun Bowl, but I feel like maybe you take a chance with Pitt as well. They get sent out west to the Holiday Bowl, but again, the Holiday Bowl and like all the Western Bowls are pretty much toss ups, and I feel like I guess especially with the Sun Bowl, if you haven't appeared in it, you have a pretty good chance to. Which excuse me, I guess if Pitt ends up losing this one or not getting the New Year's Six bid, I could definitely see them going, or yeah, I guess seeing the Sun Bowl pick Virginia, who's never appeared, and then sending Pitt, I guess, to the Cheez It, or of course the Duke's Mayo Bowl. But yeah, we'll see where the cards fall out. I'm pretty excited. One of the frustrating things is I like structure when it comes to bowl orders. Like the Big 12 has a nice ranked structure, ranked hierarchy of bowl teams. The ACC not so much. It's a pulled structure, so it's like literally anyone's guess where anyone goes, which I guess what makes this podcast fun. But yeah, should be interesting. I'm not sure what network that got off to look that up too, but I guess I don't think it got the ABC treatment, which is just a huge shame.
Just looked it up. Pittsburgh to Charlotte is right now 7 hours and 14 minutes. So factor in, a couple of pit stops, refuel, bathroom breaks, grab some food. Yeah, you're looking at 8.5 hours.
Not bad, and I think that's a primetime game. So easy day trip, checking a hotel. Geez, I guess this is speaking like a travel podcast, like like very.
Yeah, give him some recommendations for things to do around Charlotte. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's got nice downtown actually. I went there for the Duke's Mail Classic. So, I mean, before we get even more off track, yeah, it would be interesting to see Pitt go to the Duke's Mail Bowl. I think that'll be their first appearance since I guess the Rod Rutherford days too, when they played actually Virginia, I think in '03 in that game, '02 or '03. But yeah, should be interesting there. Moving on. Well, I guess staying in the ACC, but moving on. So in the scenario that BC wins out, um, first, I want to know. I want to ask two questions. Like, what are the odds that BC wins out? That would include upsetting Wake Forest. Of course, they have Florida State this week, but upsetting Wake Forest. And if BC wins out, what do you think that does to the ACC bowl picture for them?
So yeah, I don't think they're going to win out. Odds are probably, I don't know. I give it maybe 20%. I don't think they're gonna be able to win that Wake game. I think it'll be fun. It's going to be in Chestnut Hill. You know, Dracovic is back. He's slinging it 310 yards, 2 touchdowns with another 71 on the ground and 3 touchdowns against Georgia Tech. So, yeah, the whole Dracovic versus Sam Hartman duel is going to be fun. But I think Wake is the team of destiny this year. So, yeah, I think BC gets past Florida State and yeah, maybe they got a little bit of a shot. So I'm putting it at about 20% maybe to beat Wake. Not a complete pipe dream, but it could happen. So yeah, if I think some of the projections I'm seeing for them, I'm assuming this is them not winning out. Would be the Sun Bowl, potentially maybe that still that Fenway Bowl or military. I think maybe even if they lose both games, they might still be slotted in for the Fenway or military. But either way, I don't think they're going to make it past Wake.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree, but I guess something that's interesting too. You mentioned Phil Dracovic with a K, with a C and a K, like Mike Vick with the 3 rushing touchdowns. I think Boston College is getting comfortable with that run game too, and I think I guess other than slugging it out on offense and scoring 55 points like UNC did, I think just playing keep away with that Wake Forest offense is the way to go. So I mean, I think it's an upset that can happen. Um, you know, I guess a sneak peek to Thanksgiving weekend that's on my upset watch for sure. Just hand it off to Pat Garwo, let your Kobe run a bit, and then play off that play action with Zay Flowers. Yeah, should be a nice upset too. It's very realistic, I think, in my opinion. Now an 8-4 BC. When I think about the teams that they be competing with in terms of bowls, like I think about watchability, at least in the Atlantic. Yeah, Clemson's got the brand name, but that hasn't been a team that's been fun to watch this year. Like in any week, honestly, even the UConn game. Like I think DJ Uyunglele completed less than 50% of his passes. Might have gotten like a little bit over, but I think at halftime it was below 50. Offense wasn't efficient. Like that's just not a fun team to watch this year. And like, the colors on the helmet can only take you so far. So I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing BC out in San Diego as well. I mean, San Diego, I guess, pretty sure judging off the University of San Diego, I would assume it's a nice Catholic town, and having a nice Catholic institution in San Diego, I guess would help there for the Holiday Bowl. The Sun Bowl being a first time appearance as well. Um, Really, I just really feel like the past few years with the ACC, they've just been placing random teams in the Sun Bowl and just saying what the heck. But I mean, I'd like to see them there. I guess an 8-4 team pair them with maybe Oregon State, who has a solid year, maybe upsets Oregon in the final week. Could be a headlining game, but yeah, I think more realistically would be the Fenway or the military. I guess do you see them going pinstripe at all, or do you see that bowl picking someone else?
Yeah, I think the pinstripe dream bowl scenario is what we had in like 2014, BC versus Penn State. Two fairly big brands. I mean, obviously Penn State being a bit bigger and local teams. I think that's kind of their dream scenario. So if the cards fall in that direction and there's a little bit of leeway, yeah, I think they would jump at the chance. Pack the Bronx and you'd have a lot of eyeballs on TV sets. So that's really what it's all about, right? How many people will pay money or devote time to watching your bowl game?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Had a little trouble with the computer screen, but absolutely. I mean, especially in bowl season, I guess, especially with ESPN. If you're ESPN owners of the Fenway Bowl, and I mean, I'm not going to name a whole bunch of the other bowls, but that's what it is. It's about TV value, and forget the fans. Sadly, I guess moving on to our final topic. Um, so I guess the big question is who goes to the Pinstripe. So a lot of these projections are pretty random. I mean, we think we have a pretty good idea with like Penn State and Boston College, like you said, the dream sort of scenario as well. Even Rutgers too. I mean, I wanted to say Rutgers talk for next week with the big 5-6 bowl bonanza matchup with Rutgers and Maryland. But I mean, there's still a pretty good idea. Some projections are kind of random. Like CBS had Minnesota of all teams going to that bowl, and I do believe that Minnesota travels well, and plus I guess it's New York City. It's a rare trip. And this seems like the year to use that mulligan, the post-pandemic. It's not even post, but I guess post-worst parts of the pandemic mulligan, where it's like people just want to get out of their house, travel a bit, even if it's to New York City in late December with not pleasant wet weather. But I don't know. I guess the big question: who do you think goes to the Pinstripe? Do you see like a Big Ten West team stealing a bid, or them going local?
Yeah, so that let me touch on that Rutgers Maryland matchup first. It's all coming together exactly the way I have I have projected it. So I'm excited. I'm hyped for that game. Uh, but yeah, getting back on topic. Yeah, I mean we mentioned Penn State. I think that has real possibility, especially if they are probably going to do what we say they're going to do and win against Rutgers and lose against Michigan State to finish out 7-5. I mean, there's a chance they upset Michigan State, but yeah, they're not really trending in the right direction here. So aside from that, yeah, we talked about Minnesota. The other team I've seen thrown up there is Purdue. Uh, I think would be a fun matchup against whomever from the ACC is shown out, because Purdue is the spoiler maker role this year quite a bit. They've upset 2 top 3 teams already. Never know who's going to show up from Purdue. I mean, they lost to Ohio State recently, but they were too highly ranked. They need to be unranked to really get that Purdue spoiler maker magic going. So I think, I mean, really any of these teams from the upper Midwest, I don't know if we count Purdue exactly, but Minnesota will travel to New York. A lot, I don't know. But yeah, like these cold weather teams, I don't think is a thing to go sit outside in January in New York when it's probably going to be 40 degrees. They'll probably be in shorts. Most of their fans. So I doubt that matters. So yeah, I think between Penn State, Purdue, Minnesota, BC, maybe Louisville. I think that's probably what we're looking at.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And I guess just for reference, just to lay this out. So prior appearances in the Pinstripe Bowl, Iowa won in 2017 out of the Big Ten. I guess among bowl eligible teams, I might note. So Iowa won in 2017. Wisconsin won in 2018. Mark Richt's last game, actually, to be exact. And then Penn State went in 2014, so that they've had a drought. Rutgers last one in 2013. Maryland has never went, and I guess Purdue, Minnesota also have never went as well. So, I mean, out of all those teams that could possibly go to that game, I can see either or with like these upper Midwest teams. I think it's interesting too. Like literally no bowl, I guess prognosticator has Maryland in this projection. They always have them in, I guess, the toilet bowls in the Big Ten selection process. Like the Action Network has them going to Detroit against Northern Illinois in the Quick Lane Bowl, sort of being, I guess, like the sacrificial lamb. Like if they happen to lose, be the Big Ten team to lose to a MAC team, it's Maryland. People forget that Maryland's even in the Big Ten, so it's oh well, or like sending them off to Arizona. So it's kind of a shame, I guess, to close it off. Like I mean, do you see Maryland even at all in like the Pinstripe Bowl? I mean, the geography's there, and it'd be their first
Yeah.
bowl since 2016.
Well, I mean, I think all the prognosticators know that Maryland's going to lose to Rutgers that last game of the season, so that's why they have them out. No, yeah, I mean, I could see Maryland. I mean, the geography's there. They're, I mean, it's not. It's not like a great season for them. You know, not even like, I guess with the groundswell around the team and such, like it's not like particularly amazing, but this would be their first time bowl eligible in since when? I don't even know. So you would think that, you know, you'd get a lot more fans traveling for a team that's first time bowl eligible than, you know, than a team that's disheartened by, you know, by going to a bowl like the Pinstripe or something like that. So yeah, I mean, if they're sitting there at 6-6, it would be a tempting look for the Pinstripe, but I think they'd probably be going with Purdue or Minnesota. More than likely would be what, 8-4 Minnesota. I forget what the record is at the moment. The
6-4 right now. They have Indiana and Wisconsin, which Indiana looks like a likely win. Wisconsin toss up.
So they're probably 7-5. I'm guessing they're going to lose that Wisconsin game. Purdue was hyped earlier this season, top 25. I think they probably bounced out now after losing to Ohio State, but maybe there's a chance they get back in, depending on how their final two games go. So I think we're probably looking at those teams that we've mentioned rather than Maryland in the Pinstripe Bowl, but never say never.
I mean, very, very key words in the words of Justin Bieber, never say never. I will say this, you know, a little quirk here. Purdue, if they end up going to this game, if they end up winning against Northwestern at Wrigley this weekend, I feel like that game's just like not talked about a lot. It's like usually, I mean, with this week with the SEC playing their cupcakes, and I guess like just not a lot of great games. Like I feel like this game will be talked about more, Purdue Northwestern at Wrigley, but it's almost like I guess it's just not happening. It's almost like it's forgotten. It's really weird. It's a strange feeling. But Purdue could be I guess the ballpark national champions if they end up going to the Pinstripe Bowl, going 2-0 at Wrigley and Yankee Stadium. So maybe that's a quirk that the committee looks at. Most likely not, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
And then we'll see Saturday. I guess if a game happens at Wrigley and no one's there, did it actually happen? Well, I mean, I'm not saying that no one's there. I guess when no one watches on TV, does it actually happen? So I guess we'll see. But I think that about wraps up everything. Do you have anything final, John?
No, man. That does it for me.
All right. So yeah, another great episode of Northeast Ball Rush, and we're getting closer to Selection Sunday. I'm excited. I'm even more excited for I guess the Maryland Rutgers Bowl Bash that we're hinting at. We're probably gonna use the whole podcast space next week just to talk about. So we'll see. But until then, peace, love, and soul.